Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing something a little different. So this is my old TBR jar. I've switched to a new one, and I have a bunch of personal recommendations from family, friends in my life, and also people here on BookTube. My BookTube friends, my friends on Bookstagram have just given me a whole compilation of books that they recommend to me. So this is just going to be a short little, well, I don't know about short, but a little video series that I do a vlog reading that particular book. And I'm going to pick one right now and we'll see what I'll be reading. This might be like monthly or a couple week type of thing. It might just be at what speed I can read these at. And this will be on top of my additional TBRs. So let's see what we have here. Okay, I cannot read this backwards. Double or Nothing by Cindy Steele. So this is a romance book, and this was recommended by Kerosene Lit on Bookstagram. Thank you very much for recommending this book. This is going to be my first read of this video series, so I'm excited. I'm going to try my best to take you along and make this a mini little vlog, and I'll tell you all my thoughts throughout and at the end. Okay guys, I just read the prologue. Yeah, that's what it's called. Prologue of Double or Nothing. Don't really think that was necessary in any said way. I hope that doesn't continue to be brought up, because basically just like a really embarrassing moment happened where this girl who's had a crush on this guy, who is her best friend's brother, ends up going to go get some pizza, some frozen pizza from like their freezer in the laundry room, and he is changing in the dark in there, and she stumbles into him and sees his behind, and I'm like, just not necessary in any way. Did not like reading that. So hopefully that just doesn't continue to be brought up through the entire story, or I'm gonna be annoyed this whole book. I don't really want to hear about that. Okay, so I am about 40% through this book now. It's interesting. Like, I like her writing okay, because I've read one other book by her, so I like that okay. But this is kind of a, what did it call itself? I didn't even see that when I got it at first. It's a Pride and Pranks romance is what it, like, whatever says. So I'm not big on like pranking people that you like and stuff like that at all. And the premise of this with like the bet and everything, and the guy is like this major player, and for some reason he's not marriage material, but we're not, you know, gonna tell us why. I don't know. I feel like I could end up really enjoying it decently well if she plays this out the right way. We will see though. But I don't hate it. There has been like maybe one or two like little innuendos in there. Yeah, it's pretty quick and easy to get through, and I'm enjoying it. I don't know, I feel like sometimes they just need to tell us. Like, sometimes there's a big secret and stuff, and there's one of her and kind of like one of him is what they're implying. But I feel like she's already kind of likable, but he's a player and is not as likable immediately. So I'm kind of sitting here and I'm like, I feel like it would do more to the story and bolster his character more if we knew his why earlier on, instead of, I don't know, waiting till 60 to 80% through before telling us. I just get kind of annoyed with that sometimes when I feel like it could have been better played out earlier in the book, because you could have like understood the character better. Sometimes it's needed to wait, but other times, and with him, I'm just like, I'm debating if it was needed or if it could have just been told to us immediately. I don't know. So I'm definitely reading this way too fast. Romances are just so easy for me to get through. So she actually ended up telling us what happened with the girl's backstory before she told us the guys. I still haven't gotten his yet, and I'm 69% through. And like I said earlier, I really thought we needed the guys first. Like, I was just kind of frustrated a little bit that first half and just his character. But it's gotten better. He's gotten a little better, even though I haven't figured out his whole backstory yet. And they've gotten a lot cuter. It's less like, I don't know, I guess I don't prefer the whole like rivals or enemies or like player type of act, I guess. But now that that's like coming down a little bit, I'm enjoying it more. And we do get dual POV in this, so I really liked seeing his POV and his walls come down in his POV more. So I'm gonna try not to finish this all in one day though. I need to like pace myself, but it's probably gonna be 2 days at this point. So I like her writing. It's very easy to read. So alright guys, let's talk about Double or Nothing. I'm sorry about the glare going off my glasses and stuff happening with the light. The sun is being kind of weird right now. And when you get glasses, I feel like all of your lighting problems magnify because everything glares. So I'll do my best to stay out of it, but yeah. So I finished this quite a few days ago. I have not had a chance to sit down and do a little like end chat about it at all. But this was our first pick for these videos, and it was by Kerosene Lit over on Bookstagram, so check her out. And I read this on my Kindle. Yay. This was my second book by Cindy Steele that I read, and this one was actually in an interconnected series, I believe, and it's called Pride and Pranks, I think. So I'm not big into the prank scene, and I don't think, even though I ended up enjoying this one quite a bit, I don't think I have any interest on checking out the first one, because just some of the mentions of that couple and like what they had done prank wise, I was like, nah, I can't do that. Can't do it. So I really don't want to read about them pulling the type of pranks that they were talking about. So I probably won't go back to the first one, even though I decently enjoyed this one. I ended up giving it a 4 stars, and I'm gonna kind of explain my rating and give you some content stuff as best as I can. So okay, so y'all saw some of my thought process through. I think I stopped giving y'all updates though when I was about like around 70% through, but I did end up landing on a 4 stars for this one. And part of the reason that I think I'm landing on that rating right now is because I was really not into certain aspects of the book, as you saw, and certain things bothered me, and there was some content earlier in the book. And so the fact that this author was able to really change my view of the characters and my perspective and really get me to start enjoying it later in the book, like a lot. I ended up really loving these 2 characters together, and I felt like she did do like a good job on how she did it, is basically why I ended up giving it a 4 stars, because my enjoyment went up a lot. That being said, I could not go any farther than like a just 4 stars for me personally, because this did have some content that I mentioned earlier. There's like a part at the beginning with, they're like teenagers, and she accidentally like sees his backside, you know, totally random. And then there's a 4-year age gap, so he's like 18 at the time, and so he then calls her jailbait for like the rest of forever. I know, so pleasant, right? There is some slight innuendos and stuff like that in this, but there was something more towards the end that I was very upset about. I was like, this was not necessary at all. We had gotten away, you know, like I felt like it wasn't gonna have any more like big things, but there were some like body descriptions of certain characters that I just felt like, you know, didn't quite need to be described to the extent they were described, because there is a point when a girl from town comes into the same hot springs as them, and her body is described a little bit too much for me, my liking personally. But before that, there's a guy in the hot springs when they get in, and when he goes to get out, he is not clothed. And while it's not like super descriptive on everything, it was way too descriptive, and I was like, this does not feel clean. So yeah, if I wasn't already like 85-90% through the book, because that was very much towards the end, something like that probably would have made me stop reading, to be honest. So that's just a fair warning for everyone. I know everybody is a little bit different with that. I know some people would be totally there with me and some people are not that bothered by it, but for me it was too descriptive, and that was like, no, I hated that part. So I only gave it up to 4 stars because of how much enjoyment I did get out of it, and because some of the in-between stuff. But like, it was, for a while it was probably going to be like a 3.25 star, 3.5 at most. But because she went up, she like I felt like she like laid back some of the stuff that I was having problems with, and she really like dug into their relationship and the story and backgrounds and all this stuff so well that I really started to enjoy it. I was very much hooked. I really did enjoy it. But then that at the end, I was like, oh, why did you have to put that back in here? Having that, and then having the other girl come in and describing some of her body parts, and it was like, it was not appropriate to me. And the man part especially felt very unclean. So if I wasn't almost done with the entire book, I would have probably DNF'd it after that part, but there was literally like 10% or something left in the book, and I was like, I'm not gonna DNF it at this point. I need to get through it. Like, so, and I liked the ending decently well. I felt like it kind of ended a little abruptly, but I realized I kind of have that problem with a lot of romance books, so I don't know if that's just a me thing, but I feel like a lot of them, especially if I'm enjoying them, end too abruptly. Like, it doesn't wrap up in the best way possible. There are some that do, I think personally, but a lot of them I just feel like are a little rushed, was missing something from all that we got, you know, throughout the story. So, and that one definitely felt like that. So I am landing at a 4 stars, but you know, keep that in mind with all of the content that I've talked about throughout this video. I thank Kerosene Lit very, very much for giving me this book recommendation. I did have a fun time with it, and I'm excited to do the next book recommendation. This is gonna be basically like a little series, like my Trimming the TBR or whatnot. I'm not sure how consistent I'll be with it. I'll be trying to pick it up and do it as often as I can, so it might be once a month, or it might be a couple a month, depending on, you know, what else I've got going on. But I hope you guys enjoyed this first one, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.